What about now? Sound? Sound? No sound? Still no sound? I'm sure the sound now. I need some better light as well, don't I? There we go. Can you hear me? Yay! Right. So, like I said, this is an unbelievable opportunity that I had to speak to Rob Lee on Friday. So I've already done the interview. It was done on Friday. It was live. Sorry, I'm in a bit of a rush because I had to put the kids to bed and stuff like that. So it was a bit of a nightmare. So I'm going to play the interview. Please have your volume turned up as loud as you can possibly put it, because the interview was done live in the Grand Hotel in South Gosforth, or Gosforth, I should say. There was obviously a lot of people around in the hotel at the time. So who's your sign man, John Sinclair? Yeah, it is. So it might be a little bit quiet. I have listened to it myself, and I've listened to it on my phone. And if you turn your volume up loud enough, you're able to hear it absolutely fine. So please turn your volume right up, and you should be able to hear the whole 50 minutes of the conversation. The other thing to say is that any donations made tonight on this show, they will go to sports. Well, 50% of it will go to Sports Trader and also the Alan Shearer Foundation. The reason why that is I did do the live raffle for Shearer's number 9 shirt that he signed. It's got as much money as it could. It wasn't as much as I would have liked to got off for all the charities. But yeah, so I'm going to pop the interview on now. It goes on from a 9-second countdown. Please turn your volume up so you're able to hear it. But here we go, the Rob Lee live interview. Enjoy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Depends on when you watch the video, because this is not live, it is recorded. And I have got the incredible, the Newcastle legend, Rob Lee. My mum's met him. She's probably had babies again. That's the effect this man has. But please hit the subscribe button, hit the membership button if you want to, help the channel grow. Thank you so much, Rob, for coming on and doing this.
You're welcome. No problem at all.
It's amazing. So I've got to take you right back to the start, because that's where all the fun happened, isn't it? So what was it like when Keegan signed you? What was the feeling?
It was, for being honest, it wasn't elation, because it wasn't the Newcastle, it wasn't the Premier League club it is now. It was elation. I wanted to try to better myself. I was at Charlton. I loved it at Charlton. People say, why didn't I leave earlier? I didn't leave until I was 25, 26. But I was at home. I enjoyed my family life. I enjoyed playing for Charlton. I had no intentions of going anywhere, but we'd been in the first division a couple of times. And I just wanted to test myself before I got too old, and made the decision with Alan Kirby that I was going to leave it in the season. Charlton needed the money to get back to the Valley. I wanted to go and better myself. But I played against Newcastle. I played against a lot of the North East teams, and I always did well. But I thought West Ham were coming from my life.
Your boyhood club.
Yeah, my boyhood club, which I thought they were coming in. Billy Bonds was the manager, but they hummed and hard, and then.
If they did, would you have?
At the time, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
I don't blame you, to be fair.
No, I'm always honest. Like, joining Newcastle was the best decision I ever made in my football career. But at the time, if you'd have said to me, West Ham, if no disrespect to any other Newcastle manager, if Kevin Keegan had been at Newcastle, I would have waited. Yeah. I turned down Middlesbrough with my old manager, Lady Lawrence, who I greatly admire, still do. He's done brilliant for my career. They were in the Premier League. He wanted to play me in the 10, which is what I wanted to play. Yeah. So it was tempting, but it was Kevin Keegan. I idolised him as a boy. I had pictures of him over the wall. Terry McDermott, that Liverpool team. I was a West Ham boy, but I think, like when you're young, you always jump on the bandwagon of the best team, and Kevin Keegan and Terry and Kenny Daly. They were my idols. So to actually be able to play for, or to have my idol say, I like you as a player and I want you to play for me. sometimes you stick your idols on a pedestal, and when you meet them, they're not what you think they will be.
Yeah.
But he was everything that I thought he'd be. He was. He can talk to kids. He can talk to grannies. He can talk to the Queen. He walks in a room. And he's just got this charismatic. Yeah, he's an aura about him that I still, when I speak to him now, I'm still in awe of him. I'm wow, Kevin Keegan. I texted him on his 70th birthday and replied to me like, wow.
It's like you.
It is. It's mad. And I've met a few people like that. Oh, as it like, and I'm the same. I'm just the same as you are when you're meeting myself or one of your idols. I'm the same. I'm meeting some of the people that I'm lucky enough to play for a few, Kenny as well, Bobby. So some of these people that I idolised. Kevin was the actual. He was the superstar that I idolised, and that's the sole reason I joined Newcastle.
It's a lot of reasons why a lot of other players joined as well, isn't it?
100%. And sometimes Newcastle fans get a little bit lead off with that, but that was the case. I mean, I think we've come full circle again now, really. If I'm being honest, I think now we went through the stage where everyone signed for Kevin, and then the club went through the roof, and then people signed for Newcastle's in Europe. The fact that Kevin was there, we had Kenny, but we were in Europe, we were challenging for every time. And I think we've come full circle. Now we're not again. So now they have to have a reason to want to come and play for Newcastle, which is not Europe, which is not challenging for titles. Do you know what I mean? So
soon.
Yeah, well, we hope so. Yeah, and what I did hope they don't just come for money. Because I've always said we have to get the right people. This is a unique area, unique people.
Just not the weather.
Yeah, but we're having a great day today.
It is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and everyone says that, but I was here for 10 years. I mean, I lived in Durham for 10 years. And I loved it. I loved the area. I loved the people. The weather didn't bother me at all. No, I didn't really notice it.
A lot of foreign players coming into the league, though. Bruno Gomes has been brilliant last night. I don't know if you watched the game; he was superb.
No, I didn't see it, but I heard it was good that Chris Wood scored his first goal. So I think
it was a right on the sheer header.
Yeah, because he needed it. I think. Although he's been leading the line very well. Striker has to score goals.
Exactly.
And that'll do his confidence a little bit.
Oh, massively. Taking you way back again, this was one of my favourite ever Newcastle games. I was only 9 or 10. And it was when we absolutely hammered Leicester 7-1. Last game of the season. David Kelly scored a hat-trick, Andy Cole scored a hat-trick, but you scored the best goal on the day from that tight angle, the lovely little 1-2, and slotted it in the far corner. What was it like after the game, though? Obviously, you'd won the title, you'd done the parade, everyone stayed, 32,000 fans sitting in the stadium. Probably don't get that anywhere else, but what was it like when you sat down in the change room afterwards? What happened?
Well, the whole day was just a big cake. Kevin wasn't overly pleased with Linda's farm singing and St John Hall singing, and and they wanted cameras in the dressing room, which he totally refused. And St John Hall was just in his element. He was loving every bit of it. But Kevin was like, I don't want this being a damp squib. I mean, that's what he said to me. I don't want this going out. I can see us getting beat 1-0. We're promoted, we're champions. And I don't think even he saw, what came 6-0 after.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We were just the occasion. The fans just took all the players played unbelievably well. And in the end, he was asking players to come off. I think I came off towards the end. He wanted to get Gavin Peacock on. He made a massive part for us.
Yes.
And I think he wanted to get a couple of other players on. So he's actually going around, would you come off? Will you come off? So it was like playing like Sunday League. No one wanted to come off. Okay, Gavin will come off. And John Beresford came off.
That's crazy.
It was just a great time to be a Newcastle. I mean, afterwards, after the Open Top, I packed my car up and I went down south.
Yeah.
And I spent all summer in London, which is what I used to do at the start.
That's where you're from, isn't it? It's your home.
Yeah, that's exactly it, yeah.
So what was it like playing in the Premier League for your first season? Obviously, you're making that step up now. The team's making the step up, made a couple of signings. There wasn't too much to shout about. Peter Beardsley, obviously, no offence, sorry, but he is my greatest player I've ever seen in the Newcastle shirt. I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of times. He was just phenomenal for us with Andy Cole. I felt sorry for David Kelly. I don't know what happened there, whether he didn't fancy the...
I think with Kevin, it was a case of, and I did for 10 years, certainly the first 5 with Kevin. Basically, I'm going to buy better players. He made no mistake about it. I'm going to buy better players. It's up to you to keep up. If you don't, then unfortunately that's football. And I think what he saw with David Kelly done brilliant for us. He was a great character. I got brilliant. He scored great goals. He scored a lot of goals. But I just think he thought, even David Kelly says, I got replaced by Peter Beardsley. There's no disgrace in that.
It's not, is there?
There's no disgrace in that at all. And I think and every year, if you watch Kevin, every year we bought better and better players. And it was up to people to either keep up or you're gone.
Yeah. What was it like as you as a player in the Premier League for the first time? Was it everything you dreamed of, being in that top league?
I played in the top league a couple of times with Charlton. So now I was playing the top league with better players. So I was all right. I was like, well, I'm playing with better players now. So we're not going to struggle every game. But to be fair, we played Tottenham in the first game. They beat us.
1-0. Teddy Sheringham.
We went to Coventry, we got beat.
2-1. One goal we scored.
Yeah, it wasn't until we went to Man United away. So we had a tough start. We drew Man United away.
Nicky Papagasolu.
He put Coley through. And after that, we were fine.
Nerve settled.
Yeah, I think so. I think, Kevin, because obviously Kevin came with his famous statement, we're coming for your title, Alex.
Yeah.
So, who says that we just been promoted? It's we just almost got relegated to the third. But then after the Man United game, we thought, well, we came up against Man United. We just played probably the best team in the country.
Yeah. Should have beat them. Had 2 chances, didn't he?
Yeah, we should have and could have beaten them. So what are we worried about in this league? So, and from then on, we went up. I think we finished third. I don't think you'll never find another team do that.
No, definitely not. I mean, Leeds have come sort of close. There was another team that did really well recently. Flew up the league. Sheffield United, they had a great season when they first came up. But for one season syndrome, though, wasn't it? Because they went straight back down.
Third.
Third.
We finished second twice, I think.
We're not talking about that.
No. For Keegan, I never finished outside the top 6 all the time. I was there with Kevin. Never at all.
What was the feelings when we saw Andy Cole in the dressing room around the players? Were you expecting that, or was that?
Yeah, Coley was a bit. I don't know. It's a great player, great goal scorer, but he could be a bit moody.
Right.
And I think he'd just come to the. I think he really come to the. And we were set up with Peter Beers, myself, Lee Clark. We've set up around Andy Cole. Everything. You see strikers now running back and tackling.
Yeah, he was none of that.
We didn't expect him to do that.
Yeah.
That's what Kevin was. He's our goal scorer.
Yeah.
We do all that. We get him the ball.
Yeah.
Peter Beers is the best of that. If he's got an open goal, he's got someone to score a goal, or give you an open goal, Peter will do that.
Yeah, he was excellent.
So everything. That's why he got 41 goals. He got 51, 61. That's how many chances he got. And I think maybe people got onto it a little bit of what we did. We had to play through because we couldn't hit anybody.
Yeah.
We could hold it up, and Calder went behind, Peter come in, I would pass. So I think people got onto it a little bit, and I think Kevin saw that. Yeah, I think Kevin saw that. I think he always wanted Les Burton.
Yeah.
He always wanted it. And if you would asked me at the time, I would have swapped Calder for Les Burton.
Yeah.
For the whole, Calder always scored more goals, always, than Les. But for the whole package of
teamwork, ethics.
Team ethics, being able to hit him, being quick, being strong. I thought if we're going to lose him, Calder. I always thought that Kevin had. He says he didn't. I always thought we had a plan to get Calder, to get Les, which he did.
Yeah, I mean, great decision as well, really, wasn't it? At the end of
listen, I think Kevin, as you know, he always wore his heart on his sleeve. He came out and not many managers would come and explain why I've done that, which he did. As he said, that people were saying, "Oh, you've sold to our biggest rivals," and I think he said, "Hang on," he said, "When I joined, your biggest rival was Brentford."
Yeah.
When they were in the third division, he said, "Now your biggest rival is Man United."
Yeah.
He said, "So I'm doing something.
Right.
And it's spot on. Spot on. And we went from with Coley went. He had a lot of goals scoring. We had a bit of a transitional period of 3 months where we got Les and Warren and Ginola. But we were a better team.
Yeah.
The next season we were a better team.
Yeah. I mean, we went unbeaten for 13, didn't we?
Yeah, we were a much better team.
Rampant. It's a shame it all ended.
No.
But you mentioned finishing third. You obviously got into Europe. It was your first taste of Europe. Hat-trick of headers at Antwerp away. That was an unbelievable game. What was that like, scoring a hat-trick of headers?
Yeah, it was amazing because obviously the first time I've ever played with you, a lot of lads, and even Peter, I think, because of high school.
You never left London, did you, till you came to Newcastle?
I did. Never chance playing Europe. So But we hit the ground running. We started unbelievably well. We beat everybody in sight. We just took it as another game. We went out and we played exactly the way we can't play any other way. We couldn't play any other way.
Yeah.
You know, people often say now you see teams adjusting to how they play. We never changed. We attack teams. They attacked us. We attacked teams. You know, that's the way that I really enjoyed playing football the way Kevin wanted to play. If I was a kid in a playground, that's how I would want to play football.
That's how we all did watching his.
Yeah, and honestly, like I've said it many times, and people don't believe me. If you said to me, you can play for a boring team and you can win the title, or you can play for Kevin for 5 years, not win the title, but play the way we play, I would take it all day long. I mean, nobody remembers who finished second in half man yet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no one does.
We're probably more famous than some of the teams that won. Which is ridiculous. Really. But, and I take great pleasure in people, not even Newcastle fans, coming up and saying, I'm a staunch West Ham, I'm a staunch Liverpool fan, but you was my favourite centre.
Yeah.
And I take great pleasure in that because we played the right way.
Yeah. It's a shame if we had won the league that year, you might have seen a lot more teams try to play our way as well.
I think Kevin said it at the time. You know, coaching is. We all do. Everyone's got to do their coaching badge and that. But he said if he'd have won the title, with him as manager, coaching would have changed.
Yeah.
The whole of coaching system would have changed because they can always say, well, you can't never win playing like that.
Yeah.
And they can always say that if he'd have won it, he always says coaching would have changed totally. They'd have done it his way, which I think would have been a great way for football.
Definitely. You get these boring games, top v top, and they just play out a 0-0 or
I think teams now. I don't watch a lot of it now in the Premier League. Suns are in the first division. I think that's more real football.
Yeah.
Like the Premier League used to be, you can tackle, you can score. Teams want to attack, but I watch the Premier League. It's all about can we stop them scoring a goal against us? Can you pass and not give the ball away? Statistics. I don't believe in statistics. I think it's a load of old rubbish.
Yeah.
You can use statistics exactly how you want to use them, but players seem to be they want to get their stats up rather than Peter Beardsley. Probably the worst statistics you looked at is because he was trying to get the ball for an eye needle. Yeah. So 9 times out of 10 he could mess it up, or he could not. Someone cut it out.
About one
10th one. And he said, "I said to him once, he was having a nightmare giving the ball away, trying these." He said, "One of them will get through and will score."
Yeah, right 9 times out of 10,
and he's right. I say to my lads, I say, "Listen, if they start passing sideways, easy pass." I said, "I can do that. I'm 56." I said, "You've got legs, you can run, you can actually try things." And I think people get scared of trying things because their stats go down, and because we got no one now we don't really have scouts really. They go on in line, look at stats.
Yeah, on YouTube.
Yeah, well they do. You laugh, but they do.
They
go, "Oh, your stats, so you're correct to do it. All about stats." But actually, go and watch the game. Is he trying to get the ball through? Is he trying to improve the game? Is he or is he just keeping the ball to get his stats up?
Yeah.
And that's the problem we have. I think if Kevin would have won our title, it would have been much more
enjoyable.
Let players buy the good players, which he said he did.
Yeah.
But let them play.
Yeah. Let them influence.
Yeah.
I completely agree. So there's 2 games that come to mind again. Obviously, the Leicester 7-1, but the Man United 5-0. Now, I got I was only 14, 15, and my dad came to us, works in a bread factory, and his mate said, "I will buy your son's ticket off him for £500." And at 50, that's a lot of money, as you can imagine, 25 years ago. I said no.
Wow.
And the reason why I said no was I was at the Charity Shield game when we got stuff for him.
Yeah.
And I went, "We're going to get our own back here. There's no way Keegan's going to let that settle." And so when I got told we can have it, I went, "No, I'm going." What a game. What a game.
Well, it was. You hit the nail on the head. We were embarrassed about that. We just signed Alan Shearer, 15 million. He joined us instead of Man United.
Yeah.
We went to the Charity Shield. I mean, with all due respect, we had a 3.5-week trip to the Far East.
Right.
I think it was it was forward thinking for Sir John Hawkes, because he saw what people see now. He saw us. Yeah. We need to be a global brand. We were out in Japan and China, and Keegan got off the flight to sign Alan Shearer as we were flying out. We were out there for a long time, Then we came back, and on the way we had to play a game against Lincoln because we signed Darren Huckabee.
Right.
So we were tired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's no excuse, but we'd done a lot of travelling.
Yeah.
And we hit Man United, and they just absolutely took us
Cantona
apart.
scores. I remember very well. Cantona
Yeah.
celebrated right in front of us.
Yeah,
I was
they
just like,
took us apart. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. And he didn't really have to give it to them at all. But all the lads who had played, most of the lads who played in that game played in the 5-0. No team talk was really embarrassed us. We wanted to embarrass him, which we did. It could have been more.
it should have been my David Batty had a great chance, didn't he?
Brilliant as well.
Yeah. No, he always was.
Always
he?
was,
I mean,
yeah.
that 1-0 win for Man U at all.
Yeah.
He was just phenomenal.
No, he was. I think what you realise, he was the difference. I think between the two great teams. But no disrespect to Pavel, because I loved him. Brilliant, but erratic. No disrespect to Xhaka, but they had a world-class goal, probably the best goal in the world.
Yeah.
And both great teams had some great kids coming through. As we know, they've gone to camps and stuff. So I just think the difference was
He was Peter Schmeichel. He really was, wasn't it? And Man United always had that dilemma in Europe, didn't they? Did they play Schmeichel as one of their foreign players, or did they drop him, bring another goalkeeper in, and then could play Kanchelskis? I always remember that, and then obviously that rule's now changed.
Yeah, exactly. I just think that was it's easy making excuses, but as good as we were in the first half of the season, when we went 12 clear, they won 14 out of 15.
And 1-0s as well, weren't they?
All 1-0. Cantona scored. Schmeichel was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then everyone goes about the defining game. The defining game for me was when Man United beat us 1-0 because we battered them.
Yeah.
If you ask Gary Neville, if you ask people who were playing in it.
Ferdinand had 2 1-on-1s.
Yeah.
Schmeichel saved. We hit the bar with an Albert free kick.
And they beat us 1-0. And you think
That's football.
Schmeichel was brilliant. Yeah. And I just think the difference was that was world-class goal.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. The next game that springs to mind was actually straight after the Man United games when we beat Spurs 7-1, and I think he scored 2 in that game, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yeah, three of us got 2 goals. Yeah,
Ferdinand.
Yeah, Alan.
Yeah, it was a great game.
Philippe scored.
Yeah, but big deflection. I think it was a big deflection off the keeper. I remember it. But I missed the first goal as well. Gutted. It was working. I got on the ground and scored 6. What stood out in that game was that just off the back of the 5-0 win, you were just flowing.
Well, I think we've done a few 7s like we can.
Yeah.
Because we could do that. We could score goals. We could let me. Even that it should have been 7-0. We let one in. That's what we did. But we would never like be winning 2-1 and let's go and run the ball in the corner.
Yeah.
Kevin would never let you do that. That's not what he wanted. His words were, let's go out and entertain the crowd. He was all for entertaining the crowd. Yeah. He had a great affinity with the Newcastle, with the Newcastle people, and what sort of team they should have, what sort of team they deserved, and that's what he wanted to give them. He wanted to see, I think he saw it as it is an entertainment. I think some people forget that.
It's a theatre, isn't it?
Yes, it's gone for this global money-making machine, but it's an entertainment. And that's what I find very difficult watching football.
No, I agree. Unfortunately, though, Keegan left after that game, didn't he?
Yeah.
Which was really out of the blue. You beat Man United 5-0, you beat Spurs 7-1, and then suddenly you're walking out the door and you're thinking, what's going on?
You know what? I still do. I genuinely believe that if he hadn't left with the one side that year, that season with the one side,
We'll finish second in the end, didn't he?
Yeah,
Kenny came.
Yes. So I just think we had a great team, a great manager. What reasons he left, it wasn't because we were playing badly. It wasn't free flowing as we were before, but we were adjusting to having Alan in the team playing slightly different. We didn't have a Keegan wanted to get all his attacking players in, and he found it difficult dropping Peter and getting Tina in the team, and David and Les and Alan and me and David Battery and Keith. And I think that's the only problem that he had. It was. So him reason wasn't because he had a bad team. It was stuff going on behind the scenes. It was the bond. It was the stock market here. That was the thing that if he was here as long as I suppose with Newcastle, we'd be where Man United are, without that. So John Hall had the money to stay on. to compete with these people because he pushed the club
Yeah.
in the right direction. But I think again, he saw it. I can't afford to do this. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a millionaire or multi-millionaire, but this is going.
It's what billionaires now, isn't it? That owns football.
Countries.
Yeah.
I think he saw that.
He was a very clever man, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was forward thinking, and him and Kevin together, Kevin pushes on and Sir John pushes on. It was just a great combination. And you know, once I still believe when Kevin left John, when this club has been in decline since that long ago, it's been in decline.
Definitely.
We had little blips, we had little things where Bobby came back, but it's still been going like up.
Yeah, and then we went down, up, down, up.
Yeah,
It's just
we had the burst when Bobby came in, but you know, it's just been from where we were going and what we were doing. We haven't recovered from losing Kevin. I don't know.
I mean, Bobby Robson came straight in and might have been a different story, mightn't it?
It might have been. It might have been because you know, but at the time Kenny was a great. I thought it was a perfect opportunity because you just signed out for 15 million. The manager who's persuaded him to come has just left.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna be happy.
Yeah.
Who do you bring in? Well, he got brilliant with Kenny at
Blackburn. Yeah.
Loved him. Kenny loved him.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a great. It was for Alan more than that.
Yeah.
But still, Kenny's won the league. He won with Blackburn. So he won with Liverpool.
Yeah.
So great name. So it was a great appointment. I just think he tried to change the team too quickly.
Yeah. He ripped it out, didn't he? Unfortunately. So the great Sir Bobby Robson, they bring you back in from the call, as we know. He give you your shirt back. What was it like that moment when he walked into the club? I mean, it must have been a relief.
It's a breath of fresh air, especially coming from Rude Bullet. You know, doom, gloom. He was just a breath of fresh air. I mean, I think he was 66 when he got there, and he was just it's very difficult to describe what he was like. Because he wasn't, for me, his coaching methods weren't great, but he organised everybody. But his man management skills was like talking to you, and he had his blue chip brigade of myself, Warren, Speedo, Alan Shearer, Shay Gibbon, Lee. We helped him sort of run the club, if you like, look after the kids, make sure they were in, you know, because we had some brilliant youngsters. I mean, look at Craig Bell. Whatever you say about them, Kieran Dyer, they were two great players.
Yeah, they were.
For us. Sometimes they needed looking after and keeping in order a little bit, which is what we've done. But for us, I mean, I thought at the time they were both brilliant players. They were great for us. But yeah, you know, and it was just a joy playing for him. He tried different people. I mean, I played Swede before, which just threw on me like that kind of, and I loved it. I enjoyed playing. I played 3 or 4 times for him. So
it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I probably played.
But you'd walk through a wall from them, wouldn't you? Really?
Yeah, I would have played anywhere. I've done the same with Kevin and Kenny. I would have played anywhere for him. I did most of the time. You know, sometimes Kevin would say, "Go and play on the left." Okay. So, you know, when you play on the right,
all right.
Okay. Play in the middle. All right. So I played in most positions.
The thing is with Keegan, though, when you were playing on the left or playing on the right, you could end up anywhere on the pitch because you was.
Well, it was, yeah. We just did the change all over the place, and that was where it. You know, at the time I started, you know, I started on the right as a right winger, but you know, although we had a structure of 4-4-2, it's never. I could never stay there. Say Lee Clark, sometimes would switch over, and Gavin Peake was always. Sometimes he put me up front, put Gavin on the right. We were very interchangeable. Yeah.
Which what you said about Man City, though, when you were there for your front, so Keegan obviously did it first.
Yeah.
We're going to claim that one.
Yeah.
Definitely. Your best Sir Bobby Robson moment, that story.
Oh God, he was just. There's one particular story. He's just a great guy to work for. I'm just saying I didn't have him for long. I'd like to stay longer.
Yeah.
Whether that was his decision or the club's decision or my decision, I can't really remember. It was all sort of. I think when you know, I was still playing the team. I wanted to continue to play the team. Yeah. I think he wanted to get younger people, which he got to jealousy. Maybe I was a bit rash because I asked for a transfer and wanted to get away. But I just thought after, you know, it was a little bit sour. Not with Bobby, but just with the club because you know, for him to ask for money for me after 10 years service. Yeah. 700 grand. I
Yeah,
thought it was a bit.
it's not a lot of money, is it? In the Premier
I
League?
thought they could let me go.
No.
Do you know what I mean? But they didn't ask for money. I thought it was a bit.
Mm.
You know, I did say that I want a new contract. They wouldn't give me a new contract. So they weren't planning to keep me, but they wouldn't get money. So it was a little bit of. It's always. It's all forgiven. Freddie Shepherd, I got great with, right to the guy. Didn't have a grudge against him at all, but I just felt they could have let me
At
go.
the time, should have done
At the
that.
time, it pissed me off, but they didn't let me go for nothing. I didn't cost them much.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't at all, and the service that you
I
gave
gave
back to
great
us.
service, and just something the club just said, listen, let him go.
Yeah.
But they didn't. But I wanted to go to West Ham, they would obviously pay 250 grand for a 36-year-old.
Yeah.
Glenn Roder was the manager at the time, but Paul wouldn't sanction it. I would love to have gone there then, but I went to Derby in the end, which I to be fair, John Gregory was I loved it there. I had a great time there. Yeah. He said to me, "I'll buy you, but if you want to leave for West Ham after 6 months, I'll let you go." I got there and Derby, so we got relegated. But I didn't want to go to West Ham. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a really, really good club. It's a shame the problems they got now, but it was just a great club, great fans as well.
Yeah.
I didn't end up going to West Ham until I was 38 in the end. So.
You still got there though.
Yeah, I got there.
You still lived your dream.
Eventually.
You still lived your dream. I heard a story that from a few other players that listened to him, that when Bobby Robson asked you to do something, it made it feel like you were doing it for him rather than him asking you to do it.
He was. I always knew when it was quite funny because he was old school, Bobby, you know. Everyone knew if we had a really, really windy day. We used to train over at Chelsea Street at the cricket ground. It was very open. And we knew if it was a windy day, we were doing cross and heading. We just knew it. The balls were going all over the place. And he'd put his cross and heading session, which never changes. Hit the back post and balls all over the place. But he was just, as I said, he was just great to be around. Even when you were pissing off, you couldn't really. I've always said it's like playing with granddad.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, sorry, mate. I used to have a thing where we weren't allowed to leave we weren't allowed to. He put the thing in when we ate at lunchtime. Usually you could eat, he made you stay until he finished.
Until he finished.
This is a 66-year-old guy.
So
his suit's going down his top, and we're all banging on the table. So we're finished, and he's just finished his star. So we're sitting there for ages. And he knew we were.
Yeah.
Still eat his food really slowly.
Absolutely brilliant. Your best home and away goal. I've got a couple in my mind that I think were your best, but what was your best home goal first?
I think probably in terms of there's a few I remember. The one I really remember is that this Leeds at home. We were getting beat.
There's a shock, Leeds.
Yeah, we were getting beat. Yeah, we were getting beat 1-0. And it's a game we really need to win. I think Man United won the night before or something, the day before. I remember P.B.'s put me through, and I just went zigzag. I could have played it wide to Pete, but I just sort of went through me. I just scored, made it 1-1. And I think it was like the 80th minute. And then Peter scored, honestly, about 2 minutes later. We beat 2-1. So.
Oh, was it Peter's goal? Left foot came off Andy Cole's back, sent the goalkeeper the wrong way.
No, it wasn't Cole.
I thought it came off Cole's back.
No, it wasn't. It was Les.
I was Les, all right, yeah, sorry. It was a different game. I'm thinking of the season before, aren't I?
It was Les, yeah. I think Les from the header.
It definitely was Peter's goal.
Yeah. No, it was. We beat 2-1, and I think that put us 12 points clear.
Yeah.
I remember another one at home against Liverpool.
Yes, I've got that one written down. On the right-hand side.
On the right-hand side, went through against.
Caught the keeper.
Just smashed it past David James. So them two were probably. As my lads say, most of my goals were similar. You know, they said, every time
edge of the box.
Every time we see a video, it's Peter Beers puts you through and you score. And when I looked at them, I think, actually, they're quite right. I used to go up to Coley or they'd come back to Peter and I'd run. He'd find me somehow, and then I'd be one-on-one with a goalie, and I'd put it past the goalie. So
just like a striker.
They're all really similar goals, really. So.
Well, there's Liverpool. The one was one I had written down for home. What about an away game?
away game.
I've got to remember it.
Coventry was probably
Yes,
the best.
that's it.
And when Kenny was getting beat 2-1 was probably the best goal in terms of visually. But I always remember the first time I scored at Anfield. Keegan took us to play at Anfield. His first time back at Anfield. Coley was up front, Fox was playing, I was playing, Peter, and we battled. And I scored after, I think it was 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
I think Coley put me through again, or Peter put me through, and then David James, I chipped it over and we won 1-up. I think, I just remember Keegan's face after the game. He said, I just brought my team here and we've just absolutely nailed it. And we beat them 2-0, we could have been 4 or 5. So I do remember that goal. It was going to be the last goal in front of the Cop before the Cop got posted. I think Jeremy Goss scored Norwich about a week later.
Yes, he did, yeah.
So it wasn't the last right later. So I just remember it in front of the Cop. Like,
Jeremy Goss, that brings me back memories of him in Europe. He did some phenomenal things, didn't he, for Norwich? Billy Trey, my co-host normally for these shows, and we did them online. He wanted to bring up the Coventry goal because he was actually sitting in the home end as a Newcastle fan. And when he scored that from 35 yards, he went ballistic.
Did he? God,
I remember it. It was a great goal.
It was. Yeah, I remember we were running out of time. And
You just hit it.
Just going to hit it. Yeah, I'm just going to hit it. I couldn't. I won't be able to reach the goal now. But it was a great finish. Yeah, it was past Big Oggy. So.
I remember listening to it on the radio and then seeing it on TV. Like, he's not shooting from there, is he? Poof. Whoa. Absolutely phenomenal. The other goal that springs to my mind, even though we got beat, was the Wembley header. Because that was my first trip to Wembley as a senior goal for Newcastle. And
I think the significance of the goal is, people always say it's my favourite goal. And it's not because it was brilliant, not because it was, 35 yard it's just because of I played at Wembley for Newcastle 3 times previously. Hadn't played well in any of them, if I'm being honest with myself. And hadn't looked like winning any of the games. And then we played Chelsea, and then to actually score a goal and see the Newcastle crowd going mad, as we knew they would. And I think that game we knew who won that game. We'd win the cup. I think Miller got through. Yeah. I think we deserved to win that game. It just that's quite this thing against us.
It did. Always was a free kick in the bottom right hand corner, wasn't it, on Dyer because he got nailed.
Exactly, yeah. So it was one of those things that it's probably Bobby's last opportunity really to win the FA Cup, which would be great again. But it's still it still ranks. I mean, even Alan Shearer scored at Wembley for his club, as I keep telling him. You might have all your goals, but you never scored at Wembley for your club.
He did cross it though.
Yeah.
He always said he was the best crosser of the ball.
He was. To be fair with he always says it. I put it on the 6 for you, but he was a really good crosser of the ball. He still has to score.
Yeah, I remember very well. The seats were so close together. I remember we were falling over everyone. It was just
everyone tells you they all finished like 10 rows down from where they were. You don't realise when you're playing. When I go and do the dinners and stuff, they always say, "Oh, the goal. I finished down there," and I was. All right.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
I loved it. What was your favourite match and why? Favourite game? Was it the 5-0?
Well, 5-0 will be up there. Personally, like the Antwerp away would be up there. But I think to Barcelona, dream of play against Barcelona. Figo, I was captain.
Rivaldo.
De La Peña, Rivaldo. Had a great team. To beat them 3-2 home was a great. I think not many teams beat Man United finally.
No.
With the team they had.
And South Africa beat them 6-2, didn't they?
I think they get regularly beaten out like that with their team now. Always say I wouldn't mind that team chasing us. The team that's playing now, I'd be quite happy with them chasing us. But no, I think they had a great team, and to beat them finally embarrassing. It takes some doing. Probably that would be the game that would stick out.
A few more and then we can let you go. Are you still angry at the referee who disallowed your goal against Brentford from inside your own area?
No, I'm angry with Joe Allen. always tell Joe, because Joe was obviously playing for Brentford, and he got disallowed for one of the Brentford players being offside. Would you believe it was the big Geordie Joe Allen?
Yeah.
And I always rib him over it.
Brilliant. That was a question from
I said, you stopped me scoring the best goal I ever scored before David Beckham scored it.
Yeah.
And I said, then
Started
it wasn't
trend,
even
didn't it?
Newcastle player, so I said, it was you.
It was a great goal as well.
Yeah,
I remember Beckham did it, and then the week later we played Wimbledon, and Shearer scored his first goal from the free kick. But David Batty lobbed him, didn't he?
Yeah,
from
he did,
35 yards, which was quite special. It's not often you see David Batty lob a goalkeeper.
No, not usually don't back shoot.
Your favourite memory for Newcastle? Like being a Newcastle player.
Again, playing at Wembley for Newcastle. I know we lost the cup finals, but
We got
playing, not some. As I say, my boys when they start taking the mickey out of me for not winning anything, I say, listen, not many people play at Wembley in a cup. I done it. I mean, for 3 years, I never lost in the FA Cup unless it was at Wembley, which sounds ridiculous, but and it was typical Newcastle. It was so unlucky. We play against Arsenal, they're going for the double, best team in the world at that time. Next year we're playing against Man United, up treble, best team in the league.
Yeah.
So, I mean, then we play against Chelsea. We should have beat them, and then we got Poyet, who always scores against us. So, but I think to play at Wembley, captain Newcastle at Wembley, was a huge honour against Arsenal. And my mate, who was Tony Adams, still is, I grew up with him. He was captain of Arsenal, so it was sort of like it was a great honour to captain Newcastle.
Awesome. You obviously represented your country. Should have represented us more. Scored 2 goals. Obviously,
well, they say that, but I didn't start playing for England until I was 28. So everyone says, "Oh, you should have got a lot more caps." And maybe I should have got a few more.
Should have played earlier when you were really in form.
Yeah, I didn't join Newcastle until I was 26.
Yeah.
So I was in the Championship then. So I was always looked at once I got to the Premier League. It's not like nowadays, you play 2 games and you're English and they call you to England.
Yeah.
You had to perform well in the Premier League, which I did for 6 months, and then I was on the verge of getting into sort of things. I think I should have played Euro '96. I think that was when I was at the peak. Although England done brilliant in Euro '96, I just think I was, when I went to World Cup '98, I knew I was a squad player.
Yeah.
I knew I was a squad player. I think in '96 I could have
Contributed a lot.
I could have done a lot more. Yeah. I think that was my sort of like time. So I could have got more. I considering I didn't start until I was 28. Then I did do well. I did do 2.
Yeah, definitely. I've got to ask about Harry's Heroes. Me and my mum loved it. We watched it. We talked about it a lot. Obviously, you weren't on it as much as some of the other guys like Moose.
Well, the ones that got problems,
yeah.
But the first one I enjoyed more than the second one. The first one was about losing. We've all put weight on because that's what you do, and it's very typical. I'm 56 now. The first, I retired at 40. First 7-8 years, your body still run around. You can still play all the Legends games. Like I was playing all over the place, and then your body starts to tug out. When knees start going, so obviously you start training less. And you start putting weight. People want to take you out to dinner, and they want you. And then so we'd all put on weight. So that one I really liked because we actually had to go in. It was done over like a 6-month period where you had to watch what you were at. We had to go and meet up and then do some filming, and we all still had our injuries. Still got injured on it.
I noticed a lot of them were dropping like flies.
Yeah, I mean, March having done 2 of them, never played a minute. I don't think. Razor couldn't play. Because some of them were in for not playing the football.
Yeah.
The first one I really liked because we had to fitness training and watch what you read. The second one was more. It was more about mental health. It moved from there with Merce to the mental health stuff. And so I wasn't as much. And also my knee had gone, so I couldn't really play in the game. So I played 10 minutes in the game. So
Scored though, didn't you?
First one I did.
Yeah, first one.
Second one I hardly played. They said, "Do you want to go back?" I said, "No, so I can't go back." The knees buggered. So I did enjoy it. It was great being back with the old. And the stories don't change. No matter how old you get, all the stories are the same. The band is still the same. And I really enjoyed doing it. I really enjoyed doing it. I'd really give it them. So they want to do training, but then there's only 2 or 3 training because they want to put injuries. And if you do, so you've got to do too much of them, they'll go down injured. If you don't do enough of them, they can't get fit. So it's like it's really difficult. Then they've got to play this game, it's obviously the telly, so they've got to play most of the players that are playing. We had draft other players in who weren't in the show but were fitter and
Michael Owen got drafted in, didn't he?
Mark Owen and Mickey Gray got drafted. So players who could run.
Vinnie Jones.
Kevin Phillips. Vinnie Jones is Welsh. Yeah. So,
Never played.
so everyone was sort of like drafting. It got a bit silly.
Got
First one I really liked. Yeah, the first one was really good. I thought it was a great concept. We have to say the second one went more to mental health side of it.
Which was needed at this time as well, I suppose.
Well, it is, but unless you've, I think I'm okay. So
exactly. Yeah.
And the more problems you've got, no disrespect to the nurse or grades or anything like that, the more problems you've got, the more they'll show you.
Yeah.
The more they'll show you. If you're okay and not.
Yeah.
I think I'm okay. I'm quite a steady sort of guy. A few of Mark Chambers would say we had no issues at all. Wasn't fit.
That was just one of the
So we knew that other people would be more involved. It was great seeing the guys. It was great doing it.
Last question. I can remember what I was going to ask. It's just completely blanked out because I've just been in awe of listening to you. I think the one thing that really upset me a lot for the players retiring is that Masters football stopped. If they kept that, it's back now. But if that had stopped, would you be playing?
Yes.
Would you have loved to have done it?
Well, I did do it for a couple of years. So when I stopped playing, the Masters were gone every year. We had a good team. Pez played, Pete played, Liam O'Brien played.
Chris Waddle?
I think Waddle played in one year. So we had a lot of the players, big names. As it sort of went on, what happened was that you'd have like Newcastle, Middlesbrough, some Hartlepool. You had to get another team in. And then what happened was the Hartlepool players would be younger, they were still playing non-league football. We'd all retired with the sort of bigger names. They used to win it. And then you got to have Manchester, Man United, Man City, and then there'd be like Rochdale. But again,
they're winning because
that was the problem. I think what they, I hope they get it right. So they get it right. It's a great concept, but you need to have certain players 35 to 40, 40 to 45, 50 to 55, 55 to 60.
Different needs.
You need a mixture of players. You can't just have all. I've played one game. I'm only 35 years old, so I run around. I think they've got to get the mix. They want the big name players. Some of the big name players are, if they're our era, they'll play because they love it. If they're new era, they won't play because they've got enough money to do it. So that's the problem they're going to have with it. I love the concept. I played for it for 4 or 5 years with all the lads. We used to, we didn't get paid a lot of money to do a few hundred quid, but
it's a joy. It keeps you fit as well.
And it keeps you fit. It's a good way for older players to keep fit.
Good for your mental health as well, to be still around that kind of environment.
Well, it is. Yeah, well, it is. It's anything you can do. It is mentally tough when you retire. Regardless of what you say, no matter how much money you've got, if you've got no money or you've got all the money in the world, it's still tough. Because it's only so many holidays you can go on. It's only and then you've got to do something. If you don't want to do coaching, you want to do something. You've got your rest of your life in front of you, and I think that's what mental health problems come in for players. I think it's tough. That's in all sports.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you're playing a physical sport. If you work at an office, you can do that to your 65. If you're doing a physical sport, you can't. Golf's probably slightly different.
You love the golf, don't you?
I do love golf. And that's slightly, I can play golf now. So.
Who's better, Shearer or you?
Oh, Shearer's a lot better, unfortunately. Yeah, he's very good. Yeah, he plays a lot more. He has a lot more spare time.
All that much of the day work. Hardly any of it.
Yeah, he works the evening.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Rob, for
coming
on. Honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. That was Rob Lee, everyone. There's these little statistics there just put on the screen. 44 goals. I think he only nearly got 50 assists. I think it was 46 for Newcastle in the end. I think 46 assists. But 21 appearances, 2 goals for England as well, of course. But absolutely amazing. According to he scored more goals in his general career, but apparently 44 goals for Newcastle, according to the stats.
I got more appearances as well.
You probably did.
I did.
Yeah. But I don't think this includes cup games.
Oh, does it not?
Yeah, I think it was just the league.
Oh, was it?
So there were your stats for the league.
Pretty sure it was.
Could be better.
I think it was 390. I It was 2,400.
German Cups, Europe, everything put in. You will do.
Was 56 goal.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
That sounds about right.
Only because I do them in the evening. So
you do fun them well. They were league goals, I believe, and obviously England was 21 You've got to trust Wikipedia. This is the problem. Anyone can change it.
I don't trust it at all.
But please hit the subscribe button. Please consider being a member. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and we will see you very, very soon again.
Well, that was the interview. Just
outstanding job, mate. Outstanding job. Seriously, fantastic. It's really good.
Weird listening to yourself doing an interview, and it's like Rob Lee. It's on your screen. But his dad decided to try and come in too early. He saw him in the mirror. It's like, Dad, get out of the way.
I thought he did an outstanding job, mate. And
thank you.
He was brilliant. Brilliant guest. Brilliant guest.
Oh, he was unbelievable. And I said to him before we started, I said, look, I've got the questions here on my phone. Do you want to read through them so you can tell me whether there's, a question you're unhappy with? He went, nope, I'll answer anything. So if I knew he was going to do that, I could have put in so much crap.
Yeah, the Rude Hullet stuff could have come in.
Exactly.
But what you got to say about Rob Lee, pound for pound, the best signing Newcastle United Football Club ever made, without any shadow of a doubt. 700k for him.
Yeah,
Christ, 700k.
He was unbelievable.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you, Danil, for that £5. Like, so as I've said along the bottom with the banners, 50% of all donations made tonight are going to Toon Trader and Alan Shearer Foundation. The total will get added on to the Shearer signed shirt that are raffled off. I'm waiting for the guy to sent it today. You should receive it by Thursday. So then he'll then say he's got it. Then the funds get released to my account, and then they get sent to my bank. So in the next 7 days, I'll know how much money we've raised for Toon Trader and also for Alan Shearer's Foundation for the channel. So we've done our best. Thanks, James. Well done, Danil, for that. So guys, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Please consider becoming a member, because we've got an amazing prize to give away very soon. It's going to be John Sinclair's famous seat in St James's Park for the Wolves game on the Friday night. All you have to be is a paying member at 99p a month, and you will be in the draw for that ticket. I believe we'll be drawing it either the Monday, Tuesday, or the Wednesday of the week of the game, just to give you a couple of days to decide whether you can make it or not, and what you want to do with the ticket. You'll meet me and Billy on the night. We'll have a pint. Might have a pint after the game as well, because we'll be having a drink after the game. He's not going to see Gemma straight away. I'm not going to let him. So
I am. I'm coming on a Wednesday.
Well, I know, but you're not going straight away after the game. You've got no chance.
I think Jem will be with us, actually.
Oh, well, there you go then. So we'll be having a few drinks and that, so you can come and meet us and have a pint for whoever the winner is. The reason why Billy's popped on is because obviously we do have a big game on Thursday night. I'll just quickly find those banners. For some reason, StreamYard's been really funny tonight. So first of all, on Wednesday night, I will be doing a watch along for the Arsenal-Liverpool game. So if you want to tune in at 8 o'clock for that, as soon as I get home, I'll set up and I'll watch the game with you guys. We might try and put a little bet on and see if we can win. I was so close to a 9-1 winner yesterday. Absolutely devastated. Only needed one more goal and I'd landed it. Absolutely gutted. But on Thursday night, yeah, I love this. The streets will never forget Lejeune's bicycle kick.
Dominique Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, Dominique Calvert-Lewin in his skirt. It's, I'm not a fan of Everton, so I was not going to make them look good. I was going to try and find a picture of Dan Burn with blood coming down his face just to make that picture of him look it even worse. But there you go. So I'll be doing the watch along on Thursday night as well. So tune in for that. Let's talk about the upcoming game. Very good interview by an absolute legend of a guest. He was. Rob Lee was absolutely fantastic. Wolves game is sold out apart from one luxury seat. Exactly. So the tickets have gone really fast for that. Really fast for that. Unsung hero at the room was Rob, absolute legend. I would never say he was unsung hero. We all loved him, didn't we, back in the day? I mean, I grew up in that era, so I was very, very lucky.
Do you know what? I can remember us playing Villa the first season we came up at Villa Park. Rob Lee playing on wide right, and he absolutely tore little bold Alan. Remember little Alan Wright? Little bold, he's play left back for Villa. Yeah. Absolutely tore him a new one on the right hand side of midfield wing. played him off the park that day as well. And this was Keegan's Entertainers just started.
Yeah.
And he was outstanding in it, and Malcolm Allen was playing, Nico Papavasiliou was playing, and people like that. Still played him off the park. Outstanding.
That's crazy. That went out all sold in 14 minutes. That's what it's going to be like now. Everyone wants a piece of Newcastle United, don't they? So let's talk Isaac Hayden first of all. So some performance from the boys against 12 men today. Proud to be associated with the club as an understatement at NUFC. He's finding himself in hot water because he's dissing the referees. It's VAR for me.
Well, 13 men, I'd say, not 12.
Yeah, exactly. But everyone's come out and obviously ridiculed VAR again. It was not just Newcastle legends like Shearer. There's Glenn Hoddle's come out and said it. Neil Warnock on Talkshite. There's so many people come out there.
Ian Wright.
Yeah, Ian Wright, Hackett. Most of the guys in the studio are Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
Mark
Halsey as well, yeah. Is it Mike Riley was the one that's on Sky? I can't remember.
Mike Riley's the actual boss of the referees. The one on Sky is Dermot Gallagher.
Dermot Gallagher, that's right. Even he come out and said, disgraceful decisions. And there it is. The FM Premier League or an effing joke they are. And
it's no wonder we say there's a conspiracy against us from the big six, because you think the bad decisions we've had lately. Right, let's just go through them. Well, the one yesterday, Chelsea. Where Man City won, where Fraser was took up by Edison. We had the one, two or three against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Villa,
They didn't stop play when the guy had a head injury in the box.
Blatant penalty and Mike Dean running across it. So there's definitely a kind of bias towards the big six. It's absolutely no shadow of a doubt in my mind.
It does feel like it at times. It really does. And but again, it wasn't really the referee. And the referee couldn't give the penalty because he couldn't see it. There was 3 players in front of him where he didn't have a view of it. So he's given a corner. Now, VAR look at it. It wasn't a corner because he hasn't touched the ball. So surely VAR should be saying to the referee, right, he hasn't got the ball. You've given a corner, so the decision is wrong. What do you want to do? Do you want to go to the monitor and have a look at it? Because you've made the wrong decision. And then,
that's what he should have said. He should have said, you go to the monitor because he hasn't played the ball. You give a corner, and it's an obvious mistake you've made. So please go and have a look at the monitor and see what you think then.
Exactly. Jim, I'll have to defend the referee on this one, because if you watch the still, he's got 3 or 4 players in front of him, so it's very difficult for him to see it. But it's VAR that's let him down. It's the standards and the consistency that's let him down. The elbow, again, everyone's come out and says it's a straight red. Even Dan Burns come out and said, if that was me doing that on the pitch, I wouldn't expect to be on it still. So he believes it's a red. And again, it's VAR letting us down again. The referee's given a yellow because he's obviously, doesn't want to give a red at Stamford Bridge to the home team because they're a Big Four club. That's by the by. That's where VAR should be stepping in and say, oof, you've got that wrong, mate. His elbow is so high, it's pointed, it's gone straight into the side of his head. Had he been a little bit lower and took him in the jaw, that could have been very, very nasty.
You're looking at a Gary Mabbutt type injury that John Fashanu gave him years ago. But the only one I saw like that this year was Sadio Mane. He did exactly the same thing against Chelsea, funny enough. But again, big six club, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I had a little bit of a backwards and forwards with someone on YouTube. Just a disagreement, not an argument, a disagreement, a debate. They think the high foot, the Klitsch one on, was it on Bruno in the corner, just where he got a free kick, the high foot. He said that was a red card as well. And I said that's not, because his eyes were for the ball. He got the ball. Yes, he shouldn't be putting his foot that high. But had Bruno not been anywhere near him, all he was doing was controlling the ball, really, and doing what he thought was best at the time. So I thought a yellow card and a free kick was the right decision for that one. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Yeah, I do. Absolutely. You can't send people off high boots. Happens all over the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I understand if he, went to kick him in the face, then definitely. But it was just a high foot, and it was a clash, and it was an unfortunate one. Sorry, Baz, VAR works. That's what I mean by let down by VAR is he's let down by the people using it.
John Brooks was his name.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, he was absolutely terrible. And it's just a shame because the whole idea of VAR was to try and level the playing field and to get the decisions right and to overrule the poor decisions that are made on the field. And it works in other leagues, so I don't understand why it's not working in our league. I don't get it. There's another couple of good quotes on here. So the players missing today: Trippier, Wilson, Willock, Jolinton, Shelvey, Fraser. And then ASM came on 65 minutes. You know, for us to even hold Chelsea to a 0-0 draw for as long as we did, we're missing those key players. Shows you how far our team has come now.
Yep, I totally agree with you. I mean, all the squad are singing from the same hymn sheet. If one drops out, another one comes in and does the same job. Okay, maybe not to the same degree, but they all know what the jobs are supposed to be, and they're all doing them pretty well, in my opinion.
And then John Joe Shelvey comes out as well after the Southampton game, I believe it was. We're not looking down, we're looking up. We want to finish as high as possible. You know, I would never have heard him come out and do an interview like that if Steve Bruce was in charge still.
If Steve Bruce was in charge still, we'd have lost that game yesterday. We'd have lost against Southampton, and we'd have certainly lost against Brighton. Absolutely no doubt about it. And it's all about playing players in the right positions and playing them to a system that works for them. Yeah. Steve Bruce never did that for our club.
Yeah, exactly. Another favourite one of mine at the moment as well. Magpie's favourite, Joe Linton, has recently done an interview with iNews. I love the city. I love the club and the passion they have for it. They fight for it, so I want to fight for it. Newcastle is a massive club and it's coming back. I know if I do right here, I have a chance. I need to keep going, keep my feet on the ground and work for the team. If I do that, my time will come. To help Newcastle win titles and do great things, I'm happy here, very pleased for the fans. Just class. But again, there's one thing that really kind of gets me with Joe Linton is that he actually wanted to leave.
You can't blame him.
Yeah, I mean, under Steve Bruce, I mean, he was going nowhere, wasn't he?
You can't blame him.
But he wanted to leave to win titles, and the form that he was in, it's like you're not going to get a move to a big six club, mate.
No, he wasn't.
Which is what I found a bit funny. Now, if he moved, he would definitely get a move to a big six club because his form is absolutely stupendous. And then the last quote of one there from Trippier: if we stay up, we're going to build, then keep building, and then go for titles. It's weird to read, isn't it? And get your head around it.
It's
from
something
that 14
we've
years.
Yeah, after the last 14 years, but it's something we've kind of known is coming since the takeover happened, and in fact, before the takeover did happen, when we realised that the Saudi Arabians wanted to buy us, we kind of must have known, and I did know that there's going to be a massive investment, and within a few years we'll be challenging him for the things that Man City and Chelsea have done in the past. Yeah. It's kind of human nature to get to that stage pretty quickly. But to see it happening from the base we were at when it started, been nothing short of phenomenal, really. The way that the club has come like a phoenix from the ashes, really, in 10 weeks.
Yeah, this is crazy, isn't it? Simon Jordan today doing everything to claim Hertha wasn't a red. Christ, the bloke has something against us. So he does. He definitely does. And he's not a footballer, so he can't say that. He's probably never played football in his life. He's just a rich ponce. The last 10 games have gone so fast and all positive, not used to it. Exactly, I'm not used to it either. I mean, even when we do our thing, we're like, oh, yeah, I'll take a point. You know, don't get beat heavily. Yep, we might sneak a win there. And some of the games, we've cruised through them. It's just been unbelievable.
This is how it used to be, though, didn't it?
It did.
This is how it used to be. When Sir Bobby was in charge, when Kevin was in charge, it was a long time ago, but there were great times when you used to go to Saturday mornings knowing you were going to win.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get them feelings. We're getting them now, really, to some extent. I have no doubt. Yeah. I have no doubt we'll beat Everton Thursday. Absolutely none whatsoever.
I've got a feeling we'll beat them. I mean, I'm looking at Everton's form. So they beat Leeds, then lost to Southampton, lost to Man City. I mean, that was, you expect to lose to Man City. They only lost 1-0. They beat Bournemouth in the Cup. You expect that. But then they got hammered off Spurs 5-0. And then they got beat off Wolves 1-0. And you look at ours. Beat Villa 1-0, drew with West Ham 1-1, beat Brentford 2-0 away, beat Brighton 2-1 at home, beat Southampton 2-1 away, then lose to Chelsea 1-0, which was just so unfortunate. But the turnaround for the books now, Everton were laughing at us. They were further up the table than us. And then within the space of 10 games, we're on 31 points, they're on 22 points, and they're the ones that are literally level with Watford almost in the bottom three if it wasn't for goal difference.
If we beat them Thursday, they're in deep trouble. The confidence, they haven't got the mentality of players down that neck of the woods that have been there before. They've got none of that. The confidence has got to be a real low ebb. And if we can go there on Thursday and capitalise on that, I think they'll go down.
It's mental. I mean, if we win, we go to 12. Level points with Palace. Obviously, they've got a better goal difference. But Everton still won't go into the bottom three unless we beat them 7-0. 6 or 7-0 puts them in the bottom three. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to get too carried away. But then you've got them on 27 games, the same as Burnley, with Burnley only 1 point behind them. And Burnley found a bit of form. They were unlucky against Brentford. I watched the game. It was a bit of class from Eriksen with the cross for Tony for the header.
Yeah,
that's what I said about Eriksen. I said whichever club he goes to, he will win a game for someone because he has that class, and he did that for Brentford on the weekend. But I honestly think Everton are going to go down because I can see Watford probably winning another couple of more games. I can see Burnley winning a few more games. I can't see Everton winning a football match.
I don't think Leeds are out of it yet either.
Well, they got a good win again, so they're 4 points ahead of it. But they played their maximum amount of games at this stage of the season, so they played 29. So they're sitting, waiting to see what happens behind them. And obviously what we were doing not that long ago, rooting for the teams at the bottom to get beat. So that's what Leeds will be doing. But it's an interesting game. I mean, if we can beat Everton, say 2-3-0, it puts their goal difference into minus 22, which is only 4 less than Watford. Burnley have got a better goal difference than them now. I think Everton are going to go down. I really
have they got to play Burnley or Watford again, have they? I mean, I don't know.
I believe they have. I'm sure they've got to play one of them.
I know they've got a really bad run in. I know they have, but I mean...
They've got a couple of games where I think there was 3 games when I looked at it and I was like, right, they might get 9 points. But I don't see them getting them at the moment. They've got Watford away, which has been postponed. They've got Palace away, which is a tough game. And we saw how tough it was at Palace. They play good football. They've got West Ham away. They've got Man United at home, so you just never know with Man United because you don't know which Man United's going to turn up, do you? They've got Liverpool away, so that's another hiding, depending on title challenge. But Liverpool
local derbies, though.
I know. I just don't think
I'd give them more chance against Liverpool than I would say a Norwich or a Watford or a Burnley or a Leeds, just because it's a local derby.
Yeah, they've got Chelsea at home. Tough game. They've got Leicester away. Leicester are a funny team. They've got Brentford at home, second last game of the season.
Massive game.
And then they've got Arsenal away, last game of the season.
They want to be going there, wanting something out because Arsenal could be still fighting for fourth there.
I think Arsenal will be fighting for fourth because they're in the 4th spot now, aren't they?
Yeah.
The only thing for Arsenal is they've got a few games in hand, but they're against the 3 big clubs. So I just can't see Everton staying up with those games. If they don't beat us, or they're going to beat Watford away, I don't know. Or they're going to beat Palace away. I can't see them beating Palace away. I can't see them.
The thing is with Everton is they haven't got a lot of pace at the back, and Watford have got lots of pace up front. And I just think Everton's kind of illness is the back four, and I think Watford could take advantage of their pace, especially if Dennis and Sarr are firing on all cylinders.
Well, let's face it, they're not getting any points against us. That's what we're going to predict. Are they going to get any points against Watford?
Away? At Watford, is it? No, I don't think they will. I think Watford will beat them. Palace
away?
Nope.
That's FA Cup. Doesn't matter about that one. It's an FA Cup game, sorry.
Right.
West Ham away?
Wouldn't have thought so.
No.
Nope.
Man United at home?
Possibly a point at the most.
Palace at home. That is a Premier League game, but it's postponed.
Yeah, they could get 3 points out of that one, I guess.
Right, so that's 4. Liverpool away.
Going to say no. None there.
Everton at home.
No, can't play Everton at
home. Chelsea at home. Sorry.
I'm going to say no to that too.
Yeah, Leicester away.
Nothing there for them.
Brentford at home. I said Everton again.
That's the big game. But I just think Brentford's style of play again is kind of made to go back with Tony's physicality and Boomoo's pace, Ericsson pulling the strings. I'll take Brentford to win that too.
And then Arsenal away.
No,
So that's a no.
nothing.
So that means they're going to get 4 points from the remaining games in our prediction. And that takes them to 26 points level with Leeds at the moment.
Well, and that's me being optimistic. That's me giving them a point against Manchester United.
Yeah.
They're in the shit, aren't they?
Yeah, massively in the shit. Massively. I cannot see them doing it. I really can't. But again, they might get all the big guns back, and then God knows. I mean,
they're back now. I mean, Calvert-Lewin's playing, Richarlison's playing. They played yesterday.
Did they? I didn't really see the lineup properly, but
yeah,
everyone back.
It's just the back four. I mean, Mina's out for the season, I think, which is a big loss for them. So they're having to play Michael Keane every week. Lewis Holgate's got a mistake in him. Seamus Coleman's still playing. He's about 138 on the right back. A couple of youngsters that look promising, but are they set out for a relegation battle? You wouldn't have thought so. I think they're in deep trouble. And I don't think Frank Lampard's the kind of manager that wants to be down that neck of the woods either. He looks a broken man already, I'll be honest with you.
I just don't think he was the right man for the job at all.
No, I agree.
There's people saying that Jamie Rubin wanted him to come to Newcastle. It was just like, no, definitely not. Please, no. We do not want him. But 38 points for safety is what Jim thinks. So even then, Everton are down and we're already safe. In my eyes, we're safe. Especially if we beat them.
Well, if we beat them, I think we can kind of... Because there's a couple of games, I think... Well, I think we're going to win two or three more games, at least. Yeah. And we'll probably win more than that. Yeah. I don't feel anybody now. If we could get our full strength side out, I don't feel Man City away even.
Yeah,
because we can match them for work rate, and that's where the Man City get most of their points from, is the work rate leading to the skills that they've obviously got.
Yeah. But
they earn the right to play first, and against us, are they going to out physical us? No, I don't think so. Are they going to outwin us? No, I don't think so. I'm not saying we're going to beat them, obviously, but we've got the kind of mentality now that we can go anywhere and not be scared of the opposition.
Yeah, I agree. And then all the talk was Newcastle Burnley being the decider. Let's hope it's Arsenal Everton. I think it will be. Arsenal to send them down would be beautiful. Had Steve Bruce still be in charge, Newcastle would still be looking for the first win of the season. Yeah, you're probably right, Gareth.
I agree.
I think the bottom three now will be the ones to go. I think it's finally a season too far for Burnley. Lack of investment will catch them at this point. Honestly, they're playing some. They played all right against Brentford. If they just put the ball in the net, they'll be all right. But
they know what it's like. They know what to do. Yeah. They've all been there before. They've run down this avenue a lot of times. And
there's a good one from you. I would let Burnley beat us in the last game. It means everything go down. Evening, Truls.
Hi, Truls.
Thanks for joining us late. If you want to watch the Rob Lee stuff, go right back to the very start after we finish. We won't be too long because we don't want to tie up that whole show, because I know a lot of other people will want to watch it. Changes for Newcastle coming in onto Thursday. So, as I say, there were 6 top players missing. All 6 going to, well, mostly 4 of them will definitely be back, because Wilson won't be and Trippier won't be. But are we going to see ASM start on Thursday, especially after the game he had against Everton last time?
Absolutely, 100%. I anticipate. When they're that shaky at the back, you've got to put your most attacking, skillful and maverick player on a pitch against them. We saw what he did to St James's. They're going to be shit scared of him at Goodison. Get him in the side. And I anticipate him coming in. I actually anticipate Kraft coming in for Mankier as well, funnily enough.
He wasn't exactly great, was he? He didn't pull up the trees that we were expecting, and we all thought, Mankier was the better defender. But again, he has had a few games out, and maybe it's just a little bit of rustiness, potentially. So, has he done enough to keep the shirt? Maybe not. Question. I mean, Eddie Howe has been loyal to the people who have the shirt and who have played well. So Bruno stays in the team, doesn't he? But then again, who do you keep out? if I think he might go to the tried and trusted formation of the Lascelles will drop out for one. I play the 4 at the back. I think he may bring all 3 back in: Shelvey, Willock, and Joe Linton, and give Bruno a rest on the bench, because he has had 2 games in 4 days. Yes, and another 4 days later, can he do 90
probably not.
No.
So I
that's
think
where
just
Shelby
purely
might come in. Yeah.
purely for fitness reasons, I think the tried and trusted three might come back. Fraser on the right, Maxi on the left, and Big Chris Wood up through the middle. That's kind of how I think we'll go.
Yeah, so we're looking at going back to our strongest team. So we'll have Chris Wood up front, and then you'll have Fraser in ASM, and then Willock, Shelby, and Joe Linton. And then the back four should be Target, Byrne, Shaw, and either Mancure or Kraft. And obviously Dubs in goal. Sounds about right, doesn't it?
And it's a pretty fresh side, isn't it? Back four accepted. A pretty fresh side. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a 4-3-3 again, Neil. He's not going to change from it until the summer, and then when we buy new players, he'll then look to change his formation and style of football. We was playing Chelsea yesterday. So Mancure did good, but did he? I'm not sure. All the rest of the team really stood up, but Mancure was one of the. I thought Wood had a bit of a poor game as well. To be fair, I have stuck up for him for a lot, but the ball didn't stick as much as it should have, and we needed it to. So I was saying Mancure and Wood were our two worst performers on the day, but they still put a shift in. Don't get me wrong; they still worked their asses off. But Wood's place isn't up for question because there's no one to come in for him. And then Kraft did play really well in the last two games, so that's. Eddie Howe's got a dilemma, really, hasn't he? Bruno's proven himself and don't deserve to be benched. Yeah, but Jules, what we're trying to say is if you look at it, how much work Bruno put in, he absolutely ran himself into the ground against Chelsea. He ran himself in the ground against Southampton and couldn't last the 90 minutes. So is he going to be fit enough to do that again on Thursday with a high press? I don't think he will be. So, and again, Shelby, Willock, and Joe Linton have been absolutely fantastic as a free. So you might see Bruno drop to the bench because of that and then come on as an impact player, which is fair enough. I would not grumble at that because of how much effort Bruno put in. And you agree with that as well, don't you, Billy?
Absolutely. He 3 games in 7 days for his first kind of starts. He did look tired against Hampton, and he lasted a bit longer against Chelsea for another 4 days. I'm not sure he's going to be fresh. But having said that, here's our last game before. We've got a game after that. Spurs away, hasn't it? Away?
We've got international duty, haven't we? So it's
straight after the Everton game, or we've got Spurs first. I'm not sure.
No, straight after Everton game. That's it. We've got 2 weeks off.
So he might risk him, I guess. He might risk. You never know. But, Bruno in the Shelby role, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't agree with that. Gale does not have any chance of being on the football pitch for me.
And even in his kind of 2 minutes yesterday, the first thing he did was foul someone and wasted time. Yeah. And just fuck off, get out of the club.
Yeah, go for John Joe, Bruno, and Joe Linton. So you drop Willock. It's a bit of a surprise because Willock's been excellent as well.
We need someone to get close to the striker, and Willock's the only one in midfield that can do that. So he has to play, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's got the pace to get up and down, and he's the box to box where Shelby's not box to box and knows Joe Linton. So Damari Gray has been fantastic for 2.5 million. What an absolute bargain! We should have bought him.
I'm not sure if he's fit or not.
I hope not. I would drop a large block of wood on Gale. Yeah. And I like Gale as a person. He's a nice guy. He loves Newcastle. I don't know if you know too much about him, but he didn't want to leave Newcastle because he loves the area. It's just unfortunate for him. He's just not good enough. So we will see an exit from him in the future. But he got us out of the Championship, which was what he was bought to do. And that's what Rafa did. He wanted a Championship-proven striker. He got one. He got us up. Rafa wanted to move all these players on and wasn't allowed. And that's why we've been stuck in this position for so many years. I think Big Frank will be setting up for the obvious. I think there will be a few surprises. I mean, yeah, the obvious is ASM comes back in and Frank Lampard sets up a team to combat that, and then we don't play them, and then they've got to think of a different formation and a different problem. So that could be interesting on the night.
Yeah, it could be. But I just don't think Frank's got the mentality to do that. And I'm pretty sure that Eddie Howe will go with our strongest team, with our strongest formation. And will they be able to cope with that? I'm not sure they can. Whatever they do, to be honest.
Yeah,
too much fitness, too much energy, too much motivation to get up the table, and actually too much quality, I'd say.
Yeah, in the end, quality and determination and a togetherness should see us through that game. Because I don't see that with Everton. I don't see it on the pitch. So we're in a very unique position at the moment with an absolute fantastic manager who deserved the Manager of the Month award that he got. It's going to be interesting. Bruno can do the job, Willock does, and he's had some super passes in, but Willock is at 70 minutes or so for Bruno. I mean, he could potentially play Bruno higher up or play him in the Willock role. It'll be interesting, but again, it's nice to have this dilemma because how many times have we picked the team and just went, "Oh, it's the same as last week. It's the same as last week," and with no conviction and hope of winning a football match. Now we're like, "All right, we could tinker there, we could tinker here." And I know Almiron wasn't great on the ball, but his high press was evident to see against Chelsea. His energy helped us win the ball high up the pitch a lot of times. He will get dropped because there's Fraser will come in or ASM will come in. But I was actually quite impressed with his energy. It's just that extra bit of quality that we need him to provide at times, and he just doesn't do it, does he?
No.
Which is a shame. Agree 100%. Great headache to have, Baz. Exactly, it's a great headache. I love it. Predictions. What we're going for, Billy?
I'm going to say 2-0 Newcastle.
Yeah, 2-0 is very convincing. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet, if I'm honest with you. I think they'll get their consolation goal, and I'm going to go 3-1. I think we'll score 3. Wouldn't be surprised how players Maxi right and Fraser left to confuse them. I mean, that would work really well. I mean, again, they'll interchange through the game if they do play, but Fraser's been outstanding on the left when he's played there. Maxi can play on either side. Fraser can play on either side. So if that can happen, the interchanging and not knowing where they're going to be would be a massive lift for us. And
I think it depends where the threat's coming from Everton to where Fraser and Maxi play.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. But yeah, I'm going 3-1. Right, before we go, guys, please remember, hit that subscribe button if you've enjoyed what you see. The Rob Lee interview was just superb. It was, just to sit down with an ex-professional and a legend of him for 50 minutes and talk about football and the good times at Newcastle was surreal. It was actually weird listening to it back. It's like, that was me. But I enjoyed it. I'm hoping to get some more. I have had some good news today that I should be meeting Kevin Keegan at the back end of August, and I'm going to get 5 minutes with him to ask him to hopefully do a show with us. So that would be absolutely superb if I can land that as well. So we'll see what happens. Please consider becoming a member. There is a prize draw coming up in the next 3 weeks. John Sinclair's ticket for the Wolves game. So if you would like to be in the draw, please become a member. It's as simple as that. And then your name will be straight in the hat because I'll know everyone who's a member. Shout out to shirt_foot. I believe the shirt got delivered to the person who was giving it away, and he's now going to be sending it on. So great stuff. Drop him a message if you want a fabulous retro shirt. And the only shirt I've got left now is this one, is Alan Shearer's testimonial shirt. And I don't think I'm ever going to get to 1,000 paying members, to be honest with you. I think it's going to take a very, very long time. So I might have to rethink what I'm going to do with that one. But if we ever get to 1,000, I will definitely give it away if I've still got it. But I just can't see we're getting to 1,000 at that time. So there's not many. There's a 3-0 and a 3-1. So pretty much in the same mindset as us. KK would be class, and I am trying, I promise. I've also tried for Steve Harper as well, because I think he'd be good. But yeah. So Billy, thanks for coming on right at the very end. I know it was short and sweet, but we had to cover the Everton game somehow when we haven't got a lot of time to fit it in another way. Willock is a super sub, potentially. And Louis going with you, Billy, 2-0. So like I said, I'll be back on Wednesday for the watch-along for the Arsenal-Liverpool game, because I think that'll be a fun game to cover. And then, of course, we've got Everton-Newcastle watch-along on Thursday. I'll be doing that as well. And I should have my new studio by then as well.
Which channel is that on? Is it Amazon?
Yes. I'll have to watch it in the front room. That's going to be fun. If you get an interview with Kevin Keegan, I'm going to kiss your feet and call you God. My feet are horrible. You don't want to do that. 4-1 from the Blade. and each way Thomas.
No, Thomas.
Thomas.
Feet.
All right, yeah, feet. Yeah, you need to put a few more E's and W's on for that one because EW to me is each way bet.
Does me as well.
Exactly. Great stuff, Baz and Billy. Going back to rewatch the interview now. Enjoy it. It was superb and fun. Premier League, are you available for the Premier League roundup tomorrow night?
Well, should be. Yeah, should be.
Awesome. So we'll be doing the Premier League roundup tomorrow night as well. So that'll be the next show. So tune in then. But until then, have a great evening. What's left of it. And we'll see you again very soon.